morning, and welcome to Wuxinglong Pai Taijiquan live stream. Uh, my name is Jeff Cote, and I am the Occidental Taoist. So this morning, I got to be a little bit further away just so that I'm in the sun, as so you can get enough lighting. Because once the sun comes out, if I'm in the shade, you won't be able to see me at all. So sorry for being this far away, but as we move, I'll move closer so you can see a little bit more detail. We're going to start off with our feet roughly shoulder width. We're going back to, the last week or so, we've gone back to basics. So we're going to keep doing that, really sinking down into basics more. So get on a good level piece of ground. Feet roughly shoulder width and parallel. Feel the triangles of the feet. Really relax, stretch out your feet. They're going to grip the ground. Just, stretch them out, then relax them. They'll naturally grip. Feel the bubbling well activate. Soften the knees and hips. Pelvis directly under the middle dantian. Stacking the center line. Just relax everything in a good Jianzhuang posture. Take the time to feel right and left, inside and out, just balancing things out. Front and back in that triangle of the foot. Release your hips. Move freely, spine. Get stable. Paying attention to that up and down, yin and yang energy. Stepping up, relaxing down. Once you feel like you've got a good posture, bring the hands in front. Again with a little bouncing expansion. Just a nice inhale and expand. Exhale and return. Then we're going to inhale and condense. So now we're drawing towards the dantian. Exhale, expand. and counters. Notice how I change up the way I go about the counter swing. Always using the right and left channels and the twisting power, and the power of the leg and the twisting waist, and the twist of the right and left channel. Spiral force as I press down and twist, pressing down and twist, expanding out and twist. Meanwhile, this side is receiving, moving in. This one's expanding, moving out. This one's receiving, moving in a spiral. Even though I'm not necessarily shifting weight, because I'm turning the side, I've still got that more yin quality here, more yang. And forward and back columns. Up, I'm imagining resistance, and I'm trying to use my legs as though I'm going to push something up and away. When I'm coming down, as though I'm drawing something into my center and down. Getting a real visceral sense of these very basic powers. And using the power of pressing and rolling the right and left channels in and rolling them out. Still working with that up and down. And the other, up, and down again. And counter columns. So counter column swing, we've got the same basic thing happening, forward and back. We're kind of combining the first two we just did. paying attention to how I'm interacting from the waist down through the legs. It's participating in this. At the same time, I'm trying to learn how to use natural momentum. So you can spend some time just letting the momentum turn you. One of the things we're really trying to learn to do here is to anchor this and let this be free flowing, but still within the context of being able to maintain support and energetic control so we can get that body coiling. These basic trainings are there. There was a reason why I train them every day, both in the context of how it helps my Tai Chi, but also in what it does for the body and my mind-body connection. Here, you're working with range of motion. You're trying to keep a connection, particularly on the inside of each leg, the leg you're turning away from, all the way through the inside of the shoulder, up, so that you can make that continuity and really deeply release deeper muscles on that right left side. So here, this is a body elongate. Back, forward, back. And I like to train my hand to be very energetic, to have a sense of solidity and unity without being stiff and unmoving. So just as like if I'm in a fist, I've got a continuity there because everything's curling in. I'm trying to keep my energy all the way to the fingertips and think of my hands as one thing. The field of my intention is treating them that way. So, and each finger participates in the strength of the whole hand as I do this, and that all participates with the strength of the arm, the shoulder, which is participating with the strength of the core, and the torso, which is participating in the strength of the earth. And solidity. I'm trying to bring that quality through me. And I'm going to use that up and down energy. I'm going to try to let myself be very free with it, not rigid like I'm pushing, but just allowing a natural rhythmic flow to work with gravity. And then eventually I can do less and less physical bouncing, and that same flow and movement will move through me. And I'm just going to loosen, let them learn to work with gravity and let go. And close. Just go from them. Now, if you work with that extensively, that can operate as a deep internal work, but you got to do it over and over again. Learn to get smoother. Part of the practice is Really feeling internally and feeling where your own tensions and intentions are binding things up. And learn how to let your body go, let the intention of your action flow through you, and let the whole of your body participate in driving the energy and power of that. This builds what they call internal power. It's a unity of the whole mind body complex working in concert. Very powerful stuff. And teaching that can be translated into many layers of our lives. So from here, after I've been very yang like that, I'll usually want to take it down. So today, I'm just going to do a lower body Ling Kong Jing. Now, a key element of practicing Ling Kong Jing, which is that empty force, there's a lot of nonsense out there on the internet. You'll see people doing stuff, you know, moving people and all that other stuff. I'm not into that. I don't know. I haven't had it happen like that to me. No real physical energy, physical pressure, and physical energy being interacted with. Um, so I can't really judge it. It seems a little hokey to me, but that's not really what Ling Kong Jing is about. Ling Kong Jing is about learning to get empty force, the yin energy, very powerfully in your body as a visceral substance. It's empty, but it's forceful. It's got strong energy. This is a very powerful vitalizing force for your body, the vitality and strength of your brains. And we don't do it with force. We do it with activation. We want this sense of emptying the self and pushing against a resistance. So imagine that there's your arms are wrist deep or something in water, and wherever you're pushing, there's a slight current against you. So if I'm going forward, I feel a slight current going forward. If I'm moving in, I feel a slight current moving in. Coming back, I feel a slight force coming back or coming forward against you. Out, in, forward, comes towards me. And eventually you can make it more circular relevant. But it's easier at first to kind of think in four basic directions. And then we just soften into less. Meanwhile, hyper, we're not hyper like in a bad way. Hyper meaning like very much aware of the entire structure of the whole body and how it's participating in this action. We don't want to be doing this with just our arms. We want to be doing the whole of the body. We want to keep in mind that we have these right-left channel relationships of rolling in and rolling out that can power things as well as the downward pressure and release, moving with gravity and against it. So when my hands come in, I'll get a sense of sinking and rolling those hips in, very slight. And when I'm going out, I feel that changeover where it wants to change over, what maximizes the ability to press out and around. Meanwhile, I've always got that jing draw, that pelvic floor gentle gathering, urethral and rectal muscles gathering towards the dantian. as a secondary training is it teaches you how to vary your support behind an action quickly, make rapid changes. Subtle ones, but that's where the changes begin. Just pause with the left hand, kind of lower rib cage area. The right hand over the down chin. Turn, shift and turn to that upper side hand side. So if this is my left, I shift and turn towards my left. Holding the ball, holding the palms above each other, or in line with each other. And I'm going to use that relationship and compare it to the relationship in my spine, upright center, and the flow through the right and left channels. And I'm just trying to use this posture to help me make better alignment. Imagine pulling down through me. So when my hand pulls down, I'm pulling my whole body down, particularly through that right leg. And the left. Now I say my right leg because that's where I need it. You might find you need more attention in the left. Trying to align that Jiang point here, right down to the ball and socket joint. And then release the hip so it rotates out to the knee. So the knee can be in line with the hips. I'm going to allow strength to develop wherever I need for that. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep the central channels, those right and left channels and the central channel itself, open and strong. And I use my tissues to get my body into a position where that is best occurring. That's the whole purpose of these standing postures. Right. It's the beginning purpose of the standing postures. There's other purposes that will reveal themselves over time too. But for now, as a beginner, this is where you should be. And we're going to get that sense of pulling something with the palms, but we got to use the body to make that happen. We got to use the power of the hold. As I roll out, turn just a little bit more, roll out. Still receiving here. You may have to adjust your hip rotation, getting the fold here. Same here. You get that. Make sure you're not putting pressure on the knee. The most important thing is that you do not torque your knee, end up on the outside of your foot. You should be nice, straight up and down. All the folding should be happening here on the lower torso. And then a gentle spiral goes up the spine. Again, we're going to imagine there's a current here pushing on my arm. So I've got to use stability, but I want to use not just the arm, I want to use from here all the way down, and even the stability that I'm receiving here, but that the torso power from here. So I'm going to just gently use that to help bolster the rounded center. Roll middle. The other hand's on top. Get that contact. You relate to the right and left sides as they change. The other side. As you stand there, you might notice you're going to make all sorts of little adjustments in here. Tailbone down, right? Palm of the body open. And then rotate. And back. And close. Trying not to spend too much time on this stuff, and yet at the same time, this stuff is very important. These practices are central to developing the internal skills in Tai Chi. Eventually, you start realizing that the form helps you express all of these functional principles that we're learning in simpler ways in relationship to the form. So, as we start doing the form, we're always looking at these same structures. All right, and the movements between them. In fact, you'll see in the dragon rolling pearl exercise here that we have reflecting left and right. All right, let's go through the rest of warm up. Hands, wrists, and fingers. Just the loosening parts. Elbows. Other way. Shoulders. throat twists for center. Start with patting the hips as you twist back and forth. Working your way up each side. Patting the waist and hips. Waist rotations, that's circling the daimai, letting your awareness move around the daimai, which is the girdling vessel, goes around the waist. Meanwhile, I'm trying to take a bowl of the pelvis and move it horizontally and parallel to the ground while keeping the middle dantian relatively still. And the other way. Now we bring our awareness down to the ball and socket joints of the hips. Start with one side open, just drawing it, pulling it open, circle. Side. Okay. And both together, circling. Bring those two ball and socket joints moving together. This way. The other way. Wash your legs. Patting the legs. Small circles. Feet flat on the ground. Small circles. Way. Keeping your weight in the center of the triangle of the foot. Ankle and hip. Way. Looks like with the sun behind the clouds, like it's got really dark. Lighten it up at all. There you guys. A little closer, is it easier to see? Since it's all in shadow. Foot and ankle. Right. Brushing the grass. same thing I would be doing in empty force with my hands. I'm doing it with my leg. Imagining that current working against me. Yet at the same time, I've got to anchor, so you really focus on your rooted leg. This being your moving leg is an extension of the rooted leg. And the other way. Up and out, hold. Side and hold. Back. Down. Cross the legs. Sit down so your back knee comes under. Stretch the side of the hip. And turn the spine. Center line stays upright. Come up. Up to the chest. Or at least, even if this is as far as you can go for a stretch, that's fine. Whatever you can do. And just grab the ankle, the knee hang down, stretching the front. Heel all the way back. Do that. The next stage is to press the knee back while you push the hip forward. Relax. Back out. Leg around. Just leg up. If you can't get your leg up high enough to grab, this is sufficient. You can even put your foot down and just, the whole goal here is to roll this hip open. So we use the leg to help roll it open and extend it out. So I'm using all the activation of tissue here to elongate this way and rotate open. Eventually, I'm not just extending through here, I'm extending from my center through this leg too. But still making it soft. I'm aware of the fact that I'm activating things. I don't let anything just become, okay, lock that down and forget about it. Because I don't want to feel whatever discomfort comes with the growth of strength and whatnot. Because that's how you prevent strength. It's part of it. All right, so the discomfort, but it shouldn't be like pain. It should feel like your muscles are working. And you get that little bit of muscle burn. Or like it's, it takes some effort. That's okay. We're not trying to not have them work. We're trying to have them not be tense. We still want the tissues to do what they do, which is be able to move things and hold them gently, but always with the least amount of tension. Eventually, you learn you need next to nothing. Other way. Especially if you align yourself well. Borrow the power of gravity to help hold you stable. Surrender to it. Let your tissues grow strong in the places that help you align with that. Right? And brushing the grass. All right? Behind. Up and out. Out to the side. Cross legs behind. Side, straight down. Right down into the tailbone. Turn the spine from the tailbone all the way up. Yep. Down. Heel back. Out and around. Again, extending and rolling that hip open on the context of your stability of that other leg. And shake it up. Straighten the legs, flatten the back, elongate the spine, lift the sacrum, fold the ball and socket joints of the hips. Keep that tailbone out long, spine straight, spine long. Lift the sacrum and press the soles of the feet into the ground. As your body relaxes, just follow it down. Notice I really take my time, letting my body get long. You do the same. Press those knees back. Try to straighten the legs. Yeah. Keeping everything long and aligned and straight on one side. Feel the changes through the hips, the low back, the entire pelvic region into the low back and torso. And then try to relax from that center outward through each leg. Notice how much support you need on each side. Reach with that opposite hand. Center. The other side. Making everything long. Take your time. And reach with that opposite hand. And reach back with the back hand. And sweep around. Keep dragging, circle the palm. Center, squat stance, spine long. If you can't get down here, that's okay. When you come down, rest your elbows on the insides of your legs. Just push this open. It's key that you stay in the center of the triangle of the feet. And you just try to open these hips. That's all we're trying to do is just get these open so that without strain on the knees, we can come down. Press up the legs in the low back and roll the spine up. Shoulder width and nice simple dragon spine. First, just work on getting that serpentine action in the spine. Eventually, you can realize that this happens by an action in the ball and socket joints of the hips and shoulders as well. They participate. Everything's the right and left channels just roll in and out. But you got to get that centralized wave first. So don't even worry about doing it with the right and left channels until you can synchronize this. Even the abdomen coming in on the way back. Once you've got that, then you can add in the rotating in and out of the legs. And let that come out and carry into the arms. Other way. And good. Let's see where we are in time. I know I've spent a good amount of time right around that, but we got a few more minutes. Good. I want to go through that 4-move form. The 4 moves that we did, and we're going to do them to each side. I don't need these, but I don't want to step on them. It's going to be harder to see me now, and I apologize for that. Just try to stay with the things that you remember. Remember that sleeping dragon awakens to find the root is that sort of meridian flow in the lower body. And up, coming from the lower, up into the upper. Sleeping dragon awakens to find the root. Taiji beginning. Left and left. Right. Step. Right. Mortar pounds of mortar. And Taiji reverse. Left and right. And left. Back. Press. Mortar pounds of mortar. And close. Hopefully with that, all that focus and the practice that we did, really going internalized and feeling what's going on with all the tissues and really working, take your time, do all of those practices, get the alignment. Hopefully going through the form component, we kind of got a little bit more about what's going on. Because everything we were working with, all the awarenesses, that idea of the expansion, the alignment with gravity, and our ability to press and work with, but also create our own intention of uprightness, as well as receptivity, expansion, and receive. Joining with these larger forces is the basis of the movement. We have to find a way to do that while moving through these forms. until eventually we don't have to work so much. We start realizing that's the much more natural way to move. And then if you can do that while walking around, always paying attention to that up and down receptivity from below, so you can receive into that front leg, expansion into the back leg at the same rate, so that uprightness is maintained and things are flowing through you. And you can relax more. Find you can drive your activities more by going with flow and alignment. Your body's aligned and open, the chi naturally flows. You don't have to make it do anything. It will do it. Our job is to align things and clarify the channels so that we have the strength, energy, endurance, clarity of intention through our bodies for that natural energy to manifest when we take a shape. Okay? All right. For sure. Thank you guys very much. I hope you have had a wonderful class, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Try to stay cool, drink a lot of water. If you'd like to help continue to promote my work and share what I do, subscribe on the page here. You can go to my Facebook page and get a whole bunch of live streams that I've done on there. I've taken a little hiatus while it's really hot because my lunchtime lesson, it was right at the hottest part of the day, and it was pretty rough. And then I've had some internet troubles and stuff, but I'll be coming back to those soon. Probably not with the regularity that I had. Maybe not on a daily, because as my schedule has picked up, it's harder for me to get that done and fit it in. So, all right, thank you guys very much. If you want to support me with a donation, you go to my coffee page. That's ko-fi.com/Occidental Taoist. And if you want to check out some of my other stuff, I've got things I've written on Patreon, on my Patreon page. It's again patreon.com/Occidental Taoist. There are some diagrams of things I've put out there too, and there's more diagrams coming. I'm trying to work on my artistic skills, try to really represent this really well, but also beautifully, in a nice artistic style when I talk about these alignments. So look for those coming soon. That's something I've been working on, practicing my watercolors again. Get that Chinese brush style just right, but have it look aesthetically pleasing as well. So it might be something you could enjoy picturing in your mind and carrying. Thank you guys very much. We have many blessings, radiant health,